Hi, Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. I'm Sidra Naim. I'm here to share with you my journey, my journey through my sickness with a leaky gut. So I'm here because I was invited by Dr. Shahriza to share my story. So I would like to talk to you guys, to talk to all of you regarding my symptoms, my diagnosis, how did I improve my condition. Just a short disclaimer, this is not a paid review, okay? I'm just doing this because Dr. Chariza has helped me a lot and I would actually like to share the experience to help someone else. And another disclaimer would be I have no medical, no like a certified medical knowledge. Okay, so excuse me if there's like a mistake in pronunciation or in an information. Okay, a little background on me. Yeah, and the whole presentation thing is because I'm a lecturer and I just recently did my PhD, so I wanted to have a presentation to help me talk about my story. Okay. I have two kids and I got married in 2015. I would say actually my symptoms shortly started after I gave birth in 2016. Not too severe, obviously severe, but not too frequent. Just sometimes I would have migraines to the point that that's it. If the migraine starts, my day is gone. I cannot have a routine day. I would just lying down in bed, nothing would work. Panels doesn't work. I cannot take a look at the light. I cannot see my phone anymore. So I cannot function as a mom, as a wife, as a lecturer. So I will just basically wait until I reach to a point of pain until I vomit. Yes, and then I can go back to my normal routine. That was how it went. I talked to a few doctors about it, so they just told me to take care and to eat on time. Okay, which I tried, but having a young kid sometimes is difficult. So, what happened was things really started to go bad. Actually, I would say in February of 2020. Yeah, I actually started to have diarrhea every day. I was not really, I did not realize it yet. Okay, in retrospect, I can see that it started in February. I had diarrhea like daily, 2 to 3 times. Okay, it actually progressively got worse during the lockdown. Did not make sense to me. I was eating well. I was not eating out. I was eating healthy at home. So I did not get why this was happening to me. So, in the lockdown, basically starting from March to June, what was happening to me was that I was having chronic diarrhea to the point where I would eat and I would go to the washroom afterwards. I had started to have like very painful abdominal area. It would be painful throughout the day and it would be painful to touch. Of course, this bloating that leads to migraine that I was talking about, no, this happens a lot. So I would actually have to take like strong painkillers, like something like Cerebrex, just to help with the pain. Okay. So in June, I recognized that this was not something healthy. This is something that I should look into. So I actually, on the advice of my husband and mom, actually went to Pantai KL specialist. I'm actually covered. My insurance is covered because I'm working as a lecturer. So when I talked to the doctor, she explained to me that if you have issues, usually it's a bit hard to diagnose. And what you will do is that she showed me this. You will actually we will rule out. We will do every test and we will try to rule out what you have. Like here, she said we will rule out infection and bacteria. We will rule out having TB. We will do biopsies. We will do stool tests. We will also then, if everything becomes negative, then we will see if you have inflammatory bowel disease, whether it's Crohn's or UC, ulcerative colitis. So basically, this took a few months in itself. I had blood work, stool samples in every visit. I had gastroscopy, colonoscopy, biopsy, stomach ultrasounds, TB tests, X-rays, and even a CT scan. But everything actually came out without any issues. Like the blood works were clear. The scope, if you can see, actually it came out quite clear as well. Like no major um, ulcers or erosions, and the biopsy that they did also was the same. It didn't show damage to the extent of the inner linings or something like that. So after all of this, my doctor actually said that we've ruled out everything. So it must be ulcerative colitis. So this was in August 2020. So she actually wanted me to start steroids and to treat ulcerative colitis. Now I respect my specialist. I understand that she has a lot of medical knowledge. She has gone through the education. I understand through my reading, actually, it's normal for us to rule out what is not, and then we have to see what it is for, especially for gastro issues. I actually thought it was C. diff, but the doctor also did a test for C. diff. It was ruled out as well. So at the end, I have to accept it was ulcerative colitis. But the only thing was that through my readings, ulcerative colitis is not something to be, um, to take lightly. Well, their symptoms are even worse than mine. And I did not had to go wake up at night to go to the washroom. My blood work was okay. Another thing that made me think about it again was because my actually my ESR, my CRP was okay, did not show inflammation, and because of the biopsy as well, so I was a bit hesitant to jump to the conclusion of ulcerative colitis. So what I did was that I just paused things, and then in September 2020, I actually went to UMSC. I saw another gastroenterologist there, and she actually take a look at all of the documents, and she said, yeah, you can trust your specialist. I can only help you if things get worse and you need a surgery, because she was a surgeon, I think. Okay. So okay, I thought, okay, let's just see, wait and see, and then if things get worse, then of course I will have to accept the UC diagnosis, and I have to start the steroid. Then what happened in October 2020 is that I felt that my health continued to worsen. I had worse migraines, worse stomach pains. One night I had migraine throughout the whole day, even vomiting did not help. It went to a point that I cannot do anything anymore. So I actually drove myself to the ER because it's locked down. I cannot bring the kids. My husband has to be with them. So actually I was just praying very, very hard. I was not even sitting there. I was in so much pain. I was just walking around and praying very hard in the ER that I would actually meet a doctor who would actually understand the situation. And turns out I actually met Dr. Shariza. Alhamdulillah, when I came in, he seems to finally understand what I was having. When I saw Dr. Shariza, I actually explained my symptoms. So he was the first doctor who did not look at me weird that I was talking about having a headache because of my stomach. So he actually then talked to me about what is leaky symptom, and he explained to me how having leaking symptom actually would affect and will cause me to have migraines. He actually, first of all, he understood that I was not in a position to talk, so he gave me medicines. Finally, something that worked to relieve my symptoms, so I was very happy about that. We scheduled a follow-up appointment where he actually explained to me about the leaky gut syndrome. Okay, and then he explained to me how I have to make some changes to my diet, about like stopping to take sugar, advice on for me to take care of my fiber. I have to eat colorful veggies and fruits. For fibers also, he actually recommended me to take Arabic gum. Okay, and then of course to reduce weight. And all of this, of course, lifestyle changes does not happen overnight. So I needed something to help me with it. So he actually recommended I start RK Restore. It's like a combination of prebiotics and a lot of different ingredients to actually help the gut regain its balance and start to heal itself. Yeah. So what happened was that I did take gut restore. It was It was so good. I can still remember after taking a few, my symptoms started decreasing. Yeah, I feel like, oh my God, it's such a relief. I could feel less bloating, less diarrhea, and less overall like the stomach inflammation pain. Continuing, then of course my first cycle was almost ended. Then I talked to Dr. Shahriza, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Then he said that I should actually try to continue another cycle. So for the next cycle, Alhamdulillah, it continued to improve. After the second cycle, I did not have any bloating, migraine, or pain anymore. But the diarrhea was still there. The diarrhea was still there. And finally, after the third cycle, I would say that very, very slight symptoms. But I will not lie to you, the diarrhea was still there because I think my case was a bit severe. But I did not have any bloating, diarrhea, migraine, or pain anymore, and the diarrhea was very, very, very less. So because I was feeling better, I had a grip on things. Uh, you know, the gut restore actually helped me with a lot with that. So what I had did was that I continued with Dr. Shahriza's advice. I actually lost 8 kilos. I continued to have a balanced diet. By now, it's easy for me to make sure that my diet has fibers and I don't take as much sugars. And I did 3 kilometers treadmill daily. So I think was what went wrong for me. In lockdown, I was taking a lot of sugars and I was not walking as much as I did while I was in campus. So these two things actually escalated my condition. So now, after the third cycle of gut restore, I did not take any gut restore anymore. I actually have no need to take any medication for my symptoms. Remember, I talked about I take very severe painkillers. Now, let's say I have very slight bloating issues. I will just take a pill of Ganeton and maybe one Panadol, and that's it. It's covered. Then I remember, oh, I have to check myself. Oh my God, when it was the last time did you take fiber and are you taking too much sugar? Then I reset myself. Actually, I would say I'm very grateful that I was sick, if that makes sense, because I changed my lifestyle like 100%, like and then I'm feeling so much energetic. I have the stamina. I can play with my kids now. I can like cook the whole day, and then I don't feel like, oh, I'm gonna die, or I'm feeling very tired. I don't have any issues at all now. I'm feeling better than I did before I gave birth, I would say. Yeah, I'm in full health now, alhamdulillah. So I would really like to thank Dr. Shariza for taking the time to actually learn about this new way to improve gut health, and especially for people like me who was who did not match any of the other diagnoses. It really, really helped me a lot in a way that was not invasive. Yeah, I would say it was a very easy way to help my gut health. So that is my story. Just to share with you guys, this is my email address and my handphone number if you would like to ask any other further questions, or if there is anything else that I could clarify. But for the rest of you, if you are having gut issues, inshallah try to take gut restore to help, RK restore, and think about changing your lifestyle as well. Inshallah, it will be worth it. It will be worth it. You will be back to 100% health soon, inshallah. So after my lifestyle change, I no longer have diarrhea issues anymore, alhamdulillah. So all of my symptoms are gone. Thank you so much, Dr. Shariza, and thank you so much for this opportunity to share my story.